All right, guys, welcome to our dead talk on our precious Billy.
I still have my thing wrong. You can keep talking. I gotta fix.
So, Billy was only called Boy. His parents were going to kill him because of how he looked, but there's a guy in his life called the Chief, which I think is the chief of the police, talked them out of it, telling them that a monster boy as a farmhand would be great for them. So they locked him in a room and fed him through a hole in the wall. His mom poured boiling water over him once to try and kill him when he was young and make it look like an accident. He would scream, so his mom would shove his head underwater and hold it there and make him drink hot sauce to make it so he couldn't scream. They finally gave him a TV to keep him quiet. He really loved watching TV because it gave him an escape from his life and hope for something better. And he was really sad because he would see shows like Superman or Leave It to Beaver and see how the families would take care of the kid. Or in the Superman's case, where it wasn't even their kid, but they adopted him and loved him and he became a hero. And he really wanted that to kind of happen to him. So they only let him out of his little boxed in area to kill animals with his hammer, which was more or less for the amusement of his dad, the chief, and the other deputies that were there. Um, his dad and the chief were money launderers, and they also issued a lot of bribes to judges and shit. So really shady. Um, Also worth noting, Billy had a ringing in his ears, and he heard voices a lot. And one day when he was entertaining, he ended up having like the ringing in his ears, and then he just like killed everybody there but the chief, like his dad too. And then he went and killed his mom, but that seemed more like an accident because he went in there and was trying to get her to tell him what his name was because he really wanted to have a name. He always imagined that he was named after his dad, but since they only called him Boy, he had no idea what his actual name was or if he even had one. So he's trying to communicate this to his mom, and he's just strangling her and breaking her body and shattering her teeth, and she can't understand what he's saying because he can't articulate himself. And she died, and it seemed more like an accident than he was doing it on purpose. But he was also very upset because they called him Boy, but the pigs that they had, even the pigs had names and they were treated better than he was. And he always resented these pigs because of the fact that they were treated better and they had names. And all he wanted to know was if he had a name or what his name was. Um, so, anyway, the chief was obviously pretty pissed off that a lot of people died. Um, so he called in the other deputies and the dog squad, um, and pretty much just kept saying he was going to hit him with his own hammer, and so he was trying to lure him out by telling him that he knew what his name was, and he like they were shooting at him. He was fighting everybody with his bare hands, and like the dogs, like everything. He was just taking a beating. Even in the cutscene, it showed he was actually getting shot, and he was still standing. But he eventually did kill the chief, killed him with his hammer. Um, and once he killed them all, he was actually kind of happy. Um, because he didn't know what his name was. Like it didn't get actually, said in the tome, but if you look at DBD, it says that he's Max Thompson Jr. So he may have figured it out because he said he was going to go through his dad's things. So maybe he figured it out from there. But he was happy because he just knew that he had a name. He didn't know what it was yet. He just knew that he had it, and it was finally giving him like happiness. Like they gave him a name, they cared about him at some point. Like he felt more like a person. Um, so he was like, okay, I feel better. He was going back to his house. He was gonna relax and watch TV and eat some bacon. And so his lore pretty much talks about how you can hear him running around with a chainsaw, which the chainsaw like I didn't see anything in the lore saying why he's got a chainsaw, which I talked to Dino about it, and she's like, well, it's probably just because it's a farm. It's there.
Right.
Um, but yeah, he kills the animals at the farm, which I think is just him being upset that they got names and he didn't, and got treated better. So he's like kind of taking out his revenge on the animals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which it's not their fault, but he doesn't seem to like that connection is not being made. Um, and I mean, the voice was telling him to kill stuff anyway, so he might have also heard the voice telling him to go and kill these animals that had names and he didn't. So that's what I got from it. This is another sad story.
Yeah. So I remember reading about the bacon, and how it was not necessarily pig, but also some of the people he killed.
Oh, he said it was
Uh,
prized bacon, which is why I thought it was the pigs, because they won prizes and shit.
yeah. I got that from like there's a guy on YouTube who does like all the lore stuff, and he like digs into like the add-ons and stuff. Because a lot of the killer add-ons actually add like details of their stories to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the details that he picked up on was that the bacon was in fact like his dad and mom.
Oh, because I did see that he fed the chief to the pigs.
Nice, smart. Pigs get rid of everything.
Yeah, because
Pigs will digest bone. It's a very popular thing when people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna murder somebody. I'll just feed the body to pigs." Like that's a really popular like, if you were gonna get rid of a body, how would you do it scenario.
yeah. So I mean, technically, he didn't like finish the job on the chief. The pigs took care of it because literally, like the end of the cutscene, he's just dragging him, and he's like been his guts are hanging out. He just drags him into the pig pen, and then the pigs eat him alive.
Nice.
So
Titan says Charlotte's Web took a really dark turn.
yeah, it did.
Another thing that I remember was that, so he went back to basically just like he just lived on his farm,
Yeah.
like living his best life. He was murdering like hitchhikers and just in general wanderers who came by the farm. Um, just in the vicinity, he was murdering them because a part that I remember was obviously because he killed everybody, the farm wasn't operating. They weren't exporting meat or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And people started to notice. And when that got noticed, there was another group of cops that went to investigate, and they found more bodies than just the parents and the other
Yeah.
cops. So, Billy living that keto life. We're eating bio foods. Love that. Get that summer body, Billy. The mascot for a hot girl summer. Love it. Which that was another thing. When he was living in the hole, he somehow just like his muscles developed to just he was just an absolute beef
Yeah.
of a boy. And his dad noticed, and that's why his dad brought him out, gave him the cattle hammer, and had him stun the cows. So
They did mention that the farm itself ended up getting split up and sold. It's just the farmhouse itself was never split off or sold
nice.
because you can still hear the chainsaws.
I love it. So, before we get into like first ed and everything, which I feel like we're gonna agree on first ed again. I think we're gonna be on the same page.
Okay.
But and I'll be surprised if we aren't. Um, one thing to set the scene for this, I think it would be really cool. Obviously Billy's like we have Leatherface right now, but before we had Leatherface, Billy was like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Yeah.
character of this. And like I mentioned, where after he killed everybody, he was also taking any sort of like people that just happened to be going by the farm.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be cool if we were to group the survivors as travelers
Oh.
between the point of when he killed his family and the cops to when uh that second investigation happens where they find more bodies, and we imagine those more bodies are the survivors.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
That sounds fun.
Okay. Is his name actually Billy? It is not. He doesn't know his name. They always just called him Boy. I put Billy because I'm not comfortable having Hillbilly up. Uh, so I'm just shortening it to Billy. But
In in
uh,
the actual DVD description of him, it does have him as Max Thompson Jr.
yes,
So that is what ended up being his name. He was indeed named after his dad.
yes.
So, kind of happy ending ish. Ish. Got something
And like
good out of
honestly,
it.
we don't actually know if like that was really his name. Like, yeah, he did go through all of his parents' stuff while he was chilling at the farm after they were dead. I don't think he would have known how to read if he even found his birth certificate, or if he just would have been like, "I'm gonna call myself Junior," because that was a thing. Like all the TV shows that he
Yeah.
watched, I think Leave It to Beaver had a Junior, so he could have just been like, "Oh, I'm just named after my father." Like,
Let's,
just give that to
can
himself.
we just let him have this one? Let him be happy.
Okay. Hi, Lukey. Welcome.
Okay, so we're grouping them based on who's traveling where.
Yeah. So we can have some people who would be separate by themselves. They don't all have to be in a group. But I think we would also have some who could potentially be grouped up. Um, this is obviously going to take place on Coldwind Farm,
Yeah.
where he's from. The Thompson house, probably specifically. um, but we can have them, like, obviously, Steve and Nancy would travel together.
Yeah.
Duh. Elodie and Felix would probably travel together.
Say we could always do the stereotypical horror movie of all the teenagers go together.
Listen, if we want to get rid of a lot, that's a good way to do it. Um, let's go ahead. List out who we want to potentially save for Last Survivor, and first and list out the first dead, and then we can debate if we need to.
Okay. Are we doing first dead first?
Sure.
Tap.
On count three. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say tap two. I was like count three. Let's both say what we want. It's tap.
It's 100%. It's Tap. I'm sorry, man.
Obviously.
I feel like
Obviously. Again, we kill him so early every time.
it's because so many of these killers, like, what's the first?
They hate cops.
Yeah, they don't like any authority figure, and who's gonna be first on the scene? The police.
Right. Like, Tab could have easily been one of the deputies
Yeah.
dudes that he killed along with his parents.
So
Billy fires up the combine harvester to take out everyone. We need Kate to be survivor because she has experience with farms. I think she is from the country.
so who do you think is going to be the last survivor?
I actually don't even know, honestly.
So
I feel like it's gotta be like a Kate or a Lori.
I
Like just the very classic last survivor
I
type.
chose Zarina.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Zarina
I
is
imagined her dying.
I did not, for one very specific reason, which we will get to.
Okay.
So
Okay, I'll list her here.
yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and put Kate here.
Might wanna
Similar reasons as when we talked about Trapper. I'll just put that out there. For people who missed the Trapper episode, it'll be a surprise for you later.
or throw Claudette in there for, the shippers.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but sure. Bunch of teenagers.
Yes,
have
August.
bonfires,
That is
farm
true.
grounds, and get malleted finally. Yeah, and Jen would be so disgusted being on a farm. Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
She'd be more worried about her hygiene than Billy. Yeah. Uh, I feel like Yui, when we get to her, would just her motorcycle would break down at the most unfortunate time. And then she'd be like, ah, farm, surely they have mechanic equipment
Yeah,
for me to fix up my own motorcycle because she fucking knows
surely.
how. Anyway, Order of Death tap.
Yep, Tap.
Uh,
Poor Tap.
dies in the lore with deputies.
Tap hasn't made
Okay.
it through a single time so far.
Oh, I mean, we're only on episode 5. A lot of them haven't made it through a single time.
True. Alright, so we want to send them through in groups.
I feel like that's the best idea. Do we want to start with grouping the teenagers
Yeah,
together?
I feel like the teens are a good call.
Okay. So we have. Oh
Yeah.
wait, how old is Claudette?
Hang on, let me pull up my survivor lore document that has the ages of all these people. One moment.
Perfect.
Alright, survivor lore. Jake is college aged. Yui's college age. Zarina is in her 20s. I think Jane's in her 20s. Adam's in his 20s. Cheryl is 18. Nia, I think, is also college. Claudette's college age. Thing is 18. Jeff is definitely not a teenager. Kate's in her 20s. Yunjin's in her 20s. Quentin is 17. Steve is a teenager. Ash is definitely not. Tap is already dead. David is 30s. Bill's 60s. Dwight's 20s. Elodie's 20s. Ace is 50s or looks 50. Meg is college aged. Felix is 20s. And Lori is 17.
Wait, Meg's college age?
Yes.
I thought she was like a high school dropout and everything. Okay, so teens. Cheryl, Feng, Lori, Quentin, Steve, and Nancy.
Yes.
Perfect. Do we want to start with the teens?
Yeah. Because the adults have to come and find out what happened to these poor innocent children that went Scooby Dooing out here.
Ooh, Titan says a college party, but the teens crash.
My God.
We just wipe out the entire survivors in one go.
Yeah, just
Have you seen that video about Starva doing the chainsaw sprint about around McMillan? Where
no.
he like in a single sprint, he takes out every single pallet.
Oh my God.
One sprint just around the whole map. He had somebody just go and drop all of them, and then he just went around, not stopping.
I did see somebody that was playing, and they changed their overlay to be a car, and with the little steering wheel. So whenever he moved his mouse, the wheels like going and moving
Oh my
like
god,
that.
that's so
And he
cool.
had like fucking anime music, like the fast song. So it's just yeah, just going through. I was like, this is the best thing ever.
I love that. Billy Mains are the coolest. I asked Cope on his stream. He actually acknowledged me. I felt so important. I was like, who's your favorite killer to go against? And he was just like, guess. And everybody else started guessing. He was like, no, I want Dino to guess. And I was like, I'm special. And it's Billy, isn't it? And he's like, it is. Of course it is. Everybody loves going against Billy.
Having a fangirl moment, like, oh my God, I know somebody that talked to him. Oh, I love Cope.
The teens went to look for service and get whammed in the donk donk. Teens are horny and get bonked by the cattle hammer. Please look up the Combine Harvester song on YouTube in tribute to the farm. I know what song you're talking about. I won't pull it up because it'll be a copyright strike. But I know the song, Cammy. It was the one that was big on TikTok last year.
All right,
Billy.
so
Okay.
let's kill some teenage survivors.
Perfect. So, do we want them to be? What's their destination? Are
Oh
they
my
just
God,
driving
he
by the
knows
farm
of
and
my
the car
existence.
breaks
He must
down?
love me.
What was it?
August said, "Oh my God, he knows of my existence. He must love me." We should have a designated driver. Like, there's always that one older adult that
I
rides
don't know
with
if
them,
older.
like in the 20s or 30s.
Mm, that seems creepy.
I
What
guess.
20 or 30-year-old wants to just drive around with teenagers?
Okay, so that was just my friend group that had the random guy that was 7 years older than all of us. Got it.
Yeah, that's we'll have a therapy session after this about that.
Yeah.
That's a little
Okay.
sus. Bill, driver's Bill. Bill was the driver last episode.
I was just imagining like Jeff just sitting there, just like drunk off his ass, and just hits a tree. I'm like, shit.
um. Oh, what was it? What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
Quentin's
Uh.
driving. He hasn't slept in so long. He just wrecks.
No,
Turn.
that was gonna be my suggestion why Quentin shouldn't drive. But you know what?
Just turns the entire van over.
Oh my gosh! Please.
Uh.
Surely Ash's love for chainsaws must mean something for this one.
Oh my
Ah,
god. Can you
ooh.
imagine the chainsaw off? Just, he's revving his chainsaw, and Ash just grabs hold and just pulls it with his teeth.
Hold on. I'm gonna take a note for that for later. Remind me.
Kills all of them
I
at
love it.
once, makes their deaths quick and quiet.
Okay.
I want I
So
want the
I was gonna.
I want Quentin to die in the wreck so he can at least fall asleep on the airbag. He's got to have one nice thing in his life, you know.
Actually crying. I love Quentin so much. Gosh, little baby, you get to go to sleep. So proud. I'm actually crying. Oh, Quentin. And he crashes the car, dies, crashes, and leaves the airbag. Okay. Oh, baby Quentin. Steve and Nancy get bunked trying to make out in the cattle
Oh
stalls.
my god.
Oh,
What are we
man.
gonna do when they add Jonathan as like another Steve? Are we just gonna add him, or is it just
No.
gonna stick to Steve?
No, because we don't do that with Cheryl.
That is true, but they're all kind of the same person. There can only be one at a time.
No, the Sheriff Bennett is a different person
Oh,
from the reincarnates.
okay.
And then Lisa, I also think, is different from the reincarnates.
Okay. Well, Fang wasn't very alert to let Quentin drive. Who was the navigator, damn it? Lori's just like sitting is the navigator trying to get all the kids to shut the fuck up. Like Steve and Nancy are like doing that steamy fight before sex type thing that teenagers do. And then Cheryl's just like trying to scooch away. Fang's yelling at them to fucking stop it. And Lori's like, I swear to God, do not make me bring my knitting needles back there. And Quentin
So I
Quentin just
imagine
passes out.
it's also they're probably like driving through the night or something too,
Yeah.
and Quentin's just extra tired, passes out. So I don't know about y'all, but where I'm from in the country, the roads have these actual fucking drop offs of So basically, you have the large fields, right? And then you have hopefully it rains, but also they have ways to water them. But you don't want the crops to drown, so they build runoffs on the edge of the fields for the water to run. But they also don't want that water to pool into the road. So it's like the road and the fields, and between the road and the field is literally like a tiny holler on both sides that all of the water just pulls into and runs away, so it doesn't drown the fields or the road. If you drive into it, which I know many people have, it it's not the worst crash in the world. People can walk away from it. So,
August added that Lori has sole survivor and wants them all to die.
what?
August said Lori has sole survivor, just wants them all to die. Which I mean, with this group,
Yeah, that's
I
a
can
ditch.
see her just sitting there like I should have died. I should have just let him stab me.
It's a ditch titan, but it's like a 4 foot like thing off the side of the road. Usually, it's pretty deep. Ruts. It depends on where you're from, what they call them. Ditches, ruts, hollows, like all sorts of things. Um, so that's something, and it's literally like the edge of the road and then drops. So if you're sleepy, I had many nightmares as a teenager of driving off of one of them
We love
and hitting a
we
tree.
love a good deep ditch.
Oh boy. So anyway, Quentin could fall asleep and drive into the ditch,
Yes.
and then just airbags just beat him to sleep, and
We
then we have
we
our other five
we
teams.
can also establish the you should definitely wear your seatbelt in the car.
Ooh, the PSA death.
Yeah.
Nice, Cheryl.
Okie dokie. she, she's had so many runs in with death, she's not afraid of riding in a car without a seatbelt.
Perfect. All right. So, um, if we stick to the time frame that Billy's whole story takes
Mm-hmm.
place, cell phones didn't exist. So they can't just call for help. They gotta go to the nearest house
I
to be able to
just
like call the cops, right?
I just assumed that like all of them are from wherever they're from. Like Steve and Nancy wouldn't because they're from the 80s. They're just not going to carry it, but like shit like they would have the stuff that they have, you know?
Okay. That's fair. I was imagining the setting of when Billy's story took place.
I just imagined that Jesus Christ walked into different timelines with a vacuum and just put them all in the bag and dumped them out.
That works too. Thank you for the sparkles, Sunny.
Okay. Fang would somehow have a full gaming PC and play Valorant in the car. Yeah, she's just been sitting back there on her Game Boy.
She doesn't even know anything fucking happened. Okay, so Lori,
Just-
Fang, Steve,
just
Nancy, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna die?
Well, Steve and Nancy, I think we should just let them go ahead and have the sex death.
Per usual.
Yeah. They were never gonna make it. Let's face it. Huh? Did we go over a big bump? Yeah, she's just looking up like everybody's screaming. She's like, guys, does anybody have any batteries? Why'd the power go out? Yep.
I can type.
Yep.
I know how to type. I know how to type. I can do
I
this.
think it's double A, isn't it? It's double A that's usually in the Game Boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Game Boy was AA batteries.
So everybody gets out of the car. Steve and Nancy are like, you know what? Let's finish this fight elsewhere. And it devolves into adult fighting for anyone that's under 18.
Wait, what? Hold on. What?
For Steve and Nancy.
Oh.
Adult
Okay.
fighting.
Okay.
Wrestling.
Deal.
Yeah.
Cammy, I'm sorry there's no feet pics Wednesday. Titan likes to imagine that Dead Talk is its own section of the entity's realm, like wherever Vigo is.
Mm.
That would be interesting.
All right, so they get mowed down by a chainsaw while they're getting it on.
Perfect.
Just imagine it's like a twofer. Like, it just, the downward
Oh,
motion
yeah.
of the chainsaw. It's just a gaping hole.
Just get them both at
Yeah.
once. So then Lori and Feng.
I feel like Lori would now want to leave. Like, it would be time to get on the road and start running and looking for help. And Feng is out of her element with no power, no PC, no technology, no cell signal. And it's just lost.
I don't think they would separate. I think they would stick
I
together.
think they would too. I think Feng would just like that's when she would kind of give Lori the reins because she's so far out of her element.
So they leave the scene. They're walking to get away,
Yeah,
or
they're gonna start hustling out of there, like going down the road, trying to find like a headlight
oh.
as the next group comes and just mows them
And
over.
oh, okay. I was imagining like they're running, they see headlights, they're waving, and then Billy just comes out of fucking nowhere, slices them right in half. But yeah, they can get hit by a car. You want Jeff to be a drunk driver?
Yeah. Or we could have one of them gets hit by Billy, like Fang's like yelling at her for something, and she turns around and like she gets completely obliterated by Billy, and then she just gets hit by the car because she didn't move.
Ooh. Wait, hold on. Fang gets hit by Billy and then Lori gets hit by the car?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Now we can decide if we
Alright.
want Lori to die by car at that point, or if she like just bounces off the windshield and hits the pavement and is like horribly injured but not quite dead.
Mm-hmm. Hammy, I don't understand the reference, but I will take anybody to fight Ted Cruz. Literally anybody.
Okay.
That would be beautiful.
So, that brings us to the rest of the survivors.
Sorry, how did Lori die? I didn't take
We
that.
haven't decided if she died or if she's just horribly injured.
Okay, okay. So does she get hit by a car?
Yes.
Okay. Who's in the car? Should be another survivor.
Well, we decided
Or
Jeff is
more.
going to be our drunk driver.
Okay.
I feel like Jeff and Ash would
Jeff and
drive together.
I was gonna say Jeff and Ace.
Jeff, Ace, and Ash. And
Oh, could
David.
you?
Road
Yeah.
trip.
Oh, what a boys'
I
club.
know.
Okay, let me take notes. So we have Jeff, Ace, Ash, and David.
Yeah.
King for clarity.
Yes.
Anybody? Uh, just they're in the country. They don't gotta worry about shit. They got a few beers open.
Run
And
over
just
Lori in 4 separate vehicles. Now that's how Yui gets stuck there.
oh my god. So they hit Lori. Um, would Billy still be there? Like,
I feel like he just like ran off into the woods. Like he just kind of, ramped off and over the ditch. The boys are just like they're drunk. They're barely managing to stay together as they're singing Highway to Hell, and they just Lori bounces off the front, and Jeff's
they
like
screech to a salt.
Jeff's just
A
sitting there
stop.
like, fuck, I can't have another one on my record.
So they come to a stop. Billy just slices them. Dino giggling. Listen, it's funny. Okay, so
So all five of them are alive right now. I
yes.
imagine Lori might be able to, like, squeak out a small description, like help and chainsaw,
Ooh,
which would
okay, and then
immediately
she dies.
cause Ash to become aroused.
Okay, so Lori, do we want her to just go ahead and die? Like she gives them like
I want her to get hit by another car, but that's just me.
I would like to put her out of her misery
Okay.
after.
Fine, somebody else can get hit by the car.
Uh, so she gets ran over. They stop. They're like, "Oh shit! Oh no, are you dead?" And her last words are just, "Help, chainsaw." And then she's like, dead.
Yeah.
So then we got our four road trip dudes.
Yeah.
All of them pretty drunk. Let's be real. I think this is a good time to pick our embarrassing bathroom death.
I think there should not be an embarrassing bathroom death from these four.
It's a routine.
Not
Okay,
not
from
from
not
these
not these four.
four. I think I
Okay, I
think
just imagine one of them pissing on the side of the road. And
I think there's other option later on. I think Ace is going to very carefully put Lori in the ditch. Jeff
what
is
if what if they're plotting how to hide the body?
ooh.
What if they're all just like, "Oh shit, we killed this girl. We gotta hide the
And
body." And Ace is like, "I know how."
they're just so fucking drunk. They're like, "Wait. She said chainsaw. That means she wants to, like, cut her up." And Ash just, like, open the back of the van.
Ash is like, "I have experience." Oh my god. Oh my
He still
god.
has a beer in one hand, so he has to rev the chainsaw with his teeth to keep the beer in hand.
Not the first time.
Oh.
Why are you giggling at dead talk like a horror movie? Listen, I'm actually loving this one. This might be my favorite one so
I
far.
don't know. I really liked the homicidal bus windows. Very.
Wraith one was a blast. This is just these four dudes just ridiculous. I think David's the only one that would have sense as far as like we shouldn't chop her off.
What are you talking about? He's probably like everything that somebody else says. He's like, I'm just drunk. I don't want to fight. Like that's just the whole thing. Let's hide the body. No, let's fight. Just, just every little thing. I'll fight you. I'll fight you. Just stumbling around, just swinging, and everybody's just like carefully stepping out of the way because everybody else is a little more experienced in being drunk. So
So Ace and Ash are gonna take care of the body, aka Lori.
yeah, Jeff's probably in shock.
He just killed a girl.
Yeah, so he's just like sitting in the driver's seat in shock,
And David goes to comfort him by saying, "You want to fight?"
and Jeff just like rolls up the window. uh,
Okay, so does the sound of Ash's chainsaw beckon
oh,
Billy?
you bet it is. Which will be great because the Ace and Ash will be busy chopping up the body, and David will finally see a foe worth fighting with. And then he'll just get splattered on the pavement.
Could you imagine if Billy shows up and just starts chainsawing Ash and Ace, and David and Jeff don't even fucking realize it because all they hear is a chainsaw and they're like, "Yeah, Ash is working."
There's gotta be the chainsaw
Like,
fight, though. It's gotta be like a fucking lightsaber.
I know. Okay, yeah, that's gotta happen.
Okay, so Jeff and David are just. Jeff's trying very hard to ignore David. David wants to fight, so he's just constantly knocking on the window like, you will fight. And then Ace and Ash are doing their thing. At which point, Ash hears the sound of a fellow chainsaw and brings his chainsaw to an erect and upright position. And Ace gets completely splattered. But Ash was ready for this. He's been waiting his whole life for this. chainsaw add-on and everything. And there is the most epic chainsaw battle ever. It was glorious.
There we go.
Just sparks are flying, the chainsaws are going crazy. Just the sound of grinding metal, and Jeff's just like, oh my god. Go away from my window.
And David sees a fight.
Yes, Jeff just sees a bunch of liquid hit the windshield and just turns on the windshield wipers. And then David's like, yeah, it's a fight, let's go!
And David just gets split in half.
Yeah. Yeah, David.
We don't know if it was actually Ash's chainsaw or Billy's.
He just gets hit by a rogue chainsaw.
Here we go.
Goes to chainsaw
Well,
fight
okay,
without a chainsaw, yes.
Wawa King says, I heard a wrecked and splattered. This may not be a horror movie anymore. The battle goes up in smoke and Ash is just gone.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So then we have Jeff.
I feel like he would immediately either slam on the gas to go forward or accidentally put it in reverse and end up in the ditch right next to the original van.
Yes. Accidentally go into reverse. Yes. I like that.
And then, yeah. At that point, then, he tries to get out and run, but he's too drunk for that shit, so... That's the end of Jeffrey. Collateral damage, yes.
All right. So, now we have Dwight, Claudette, Jake, Nia, Bill, Kate, Adam, Jane, Yui, Zarina, Felix, Elodie, and Yunjin.
We also have Meg. I don't know if you mentioned Meg.
I think I did, but yeah. Not sure. We did. We do still have Meg.
Okay, so I think Dwight is going to be our bathroom boy.
Oh, precious.
Because I feel like he's going to be in the car. Like, can we stop at a gas station? I really gotta pee, guys. Is there a gas station coming? I really gotta pee. And the driver's just like, you know what? I'm pulling over, and you can go piss in a ditch. And
What if we have the original 4 survivors all together? Just all 4 of them. And Meg's the one that's like, you can piss in a ditch. And he's like, I can't. And Jake's like, I do it all the time.
Here, watch. Just 2 guys casually peeing next to each other. Jake's like giving him a pep talk and then just cleaves right through him. And we have a dual bathroom death.
2 boys pissing in a ditch 5 feet apart because they're not gay. Okay, I like this. So, Dwight and Jake.
It's Toilet Death Christmas. Came twice this year. Jake, Toilet Death, showing him how it's done. Guidance.
Here's Yui yells out loud, Yui has a motorcycle, it's 2 a.m.
Let's see.
You sure they aren't gay? They probably are. Let's be real. So then we have Meg and Claudette.
I feel like Meg's gonna run.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with their car.
That's true. They can peace out then. Get in the car and leave.
They just fucking peel out. They're just like, what the fuck? Farms are big, right? Farms can be pretty massive, and
Yeah.
we know that Coldwind has 5 unique maps. It's a damn ass huge farm. It
Yes.
had to be for them to launder money. Like
Yeah.
they had to be very productive. Um, they could peel out and be like, "Oh my god, we gotta call the fucking cops," and just drive down the street a couple miles. Technically, they're still on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize that, and they think they're safe, and they're trying to get a phone signal, and we can save them for a little bit later and come
Yes.
back to them if we want, or we can kill them now.
I feel like they would come to like at this point they should get to like a gathering and then bring in our other people.
Okay. They pull up to the side of the road. They kind of park their car. They're trying to get a signal. Another car comes by, and they flag them down.
Yes.
Who's in the other car?
Felix and Elodie. Because I keep every time I just put the two of them together just because
I know, it just makes
it's like
sense.
they know each other.
So they flag down Felix and Elodie, and they're like, "We just saw our friends get mowed down by a man with a chainsaw." Sandy wants them to, instead of look for help, plot to kill Billy.
Either that or they're like, you know what? We should call a professional. And then like call Bill.
What if we just make up our own headcanon? Bill is Meg's grandpa.
Oh god. It makes so much sense. Meg's like, just call my grandpa! Uh,
Yeah, if she was just like they're trying to call the or like Claudette's trying to call the cops. She can't get through. They flag and wave down Elodie and Felix as they're driving by. Meg is just frantically trying to reach out to her grandpa. And she's like, "We just saw somebody get mowed down with a chainsaw. I'm so scared. We can't reach the cops." Little do they know all the cops are fucking dead in this town.
yeah.
Uh,
Bill just like got like a little bit of a signal, like a little bit of a GPS signal. He's just, doing the taken.
he's that dude that has like his own like uh what's it fucking called? The radios that the cops use.
Radar?
No, it's the one where like all the calls come in. Like there are
Uh,
people like you can get one of those radios as a civilian and just fucking listen to it
yeah.
if you're ever curious. Bill's that type of dude. He's got one of those.
So fun story. My sister actually used to have one of those
Yeah.
radios. Except she could also like she switched the channel so she could hear like truck drivers.
Yes.
And she was driving and one of the truck drivers like, "Hey Bob, coming up on your left, there's a hot blonde and a white neon." My sister got on the radio. She's like, "Thanks, boys." And I was like, fuck, 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 change station."
That's hilarious. A cat, all cops are dead. Love that. Do you have a wild hillbilly killing your friends? Is your farm animals being murdered and a hillbilly feeding people to pigs? Don't worry. Just call Grandpa Bill. Oh man, what if oh, so if we do if Bill's gonna be that type of guy, we could honestly have him like get through to the police and he just like hears the dispatch call and he's just like that description sounds like Meg.
Mm-hmm.
It makes his own hero journey.
Yes.
So we have Meg, Claudette, Felix and Elodie all together. Bill's on his way.
If we're going with Bill hears that, I imagine that Zarina would also have something to be able to pick this shit up.
Oh yeah.
And Zarina would probably be traveling with a group. Like she'd call her other friends to come and provide backup for this.
Okay.
Like Jane could be like shadowing her for a talk show. And then let's see. Kate's
So,
a celebrity. Just doing like a celebrity road trip.
oh, Zarina's doing a documentary of Kate's like first tour.
Ooh.
Like when Taylor Swift started like touring as a teenager and shit. And they're just like, if you look back, like there's old videos of her like on the little tour bus and like traveling around and shit to like the smallest venues ever. Literally, she did farm concerts. Um,
Can you imagine if after the whole trickster thing happened, Yunjin's just like, you know what? I need to manage new talent. It just picks up Kate. It's like, this one looks safe.
that sounds really good. Okay, listen, before we go that route, I love that and I think I'm gonna go that route. But I was imagining we I know we normally say that Yui and Yunjin are enemies, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say let's turn the tables completely around. They're lovers. They're on a road trip on Yui's bike and it breaks down. But you know what? Yours makes way more
I was
sense.
gonna say, I can't even find a way in my brain to ship Yunjin and
I was just gonna make
Yui.
it happen. I was just like, we always stick them together and they fight, and I was like, but what if they were lovers instead?
Like, I would hook up Yui and Jane like in a heartbeat.
Nah, no, it's Yui and Serena, 100%. It's Yui and Serena.
Okay. I just want Jane to get some action, damn it.
That's fair too. No, but I do like that. Yunjin is managing Kate.
How are we gonna get Adam and Nia in there? This is where I'm kind of struggling. I'm like, okay, so Zarina could easily be doing a documentary in association with Jane because she's got her own little talk show, and then Yunjin's managing Kate. Yui's got a motorcycle; she's fine.
Right.
But how do we
She's
get
on a road
Adam
trip.
and Nia?
So I don't know about Adam, but for Nia, hear me out. Um, kind of a Buffalo Bill scenario. Um, it'll feel like a cheap cop out, but honestly, if we just have anybody go to the Thompson house, Nia could just be just fucking held hostage, and they find her and they're like, "What the fuck? He's keeping girls hostage." And when she tries to break free, he kills her. So if we can get them to go onto the farm and off of the side of the road,
Oh my god. Okay, so you know how Nia is has a little bit of a problem with authority?
yes.
Can you imagine that she went to the house and was actually like tagging the house and referring to cops as pigs and doing like all that tagging, and Billy actually keeps her because she doesn't like pigs either. Like there's a little bit of a kindred spirit there. Like he doesn't kill her because she's
But he's so bad at communicating that she doesn't realize that
yeah.
she's just like, I'm being held hostage.
Yeah, so he loves her art because like the picture at least gets across the idea that
Uh
she
huh.
hates all the same things that he hates.
No, I love that. Oh, Billy thinks he made a friend, and Nia is scared for her fucking
Yeah,
life. Okay,
cuz
that works.
like I feel like she might be okay if he wasn't like dragging around a chainsaw and a hammer and there weren't like a bunch of dead bodies around, but you know.
No, that works really well. So yeah, cause she would easily be scared for her life, and yeah, no, that's great. So then when we have like Meg, Claudette, Felix, and Elodie all grouped up, uh, one of them, let's go with Felix. He seems like the dumb blonde type. Um, I know he's an architect. He's really fucking smart. Anyway, one of them's like, "There's a house. We can go there to call for help,"
Oh god.
and they find Nia.
Uh-oh.
Didn't realize Billy was Antifa. I love it.
Also, Adam can possibly come with Jane and Zarina because he's a teacher, and maybe they just want to have somebody in a lab coat to make them look better. You know how people sometimes will get like a teacher or something and be like, "Yeah, can you just say this so it sounds legit?" Like, this is a real doctor, a doctor of language arts.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out a way to get him in there.
I know. I'm struggling with Adam too.
Oh,
The
Adam.
chat making a whole different story. I love it though. Nia gets adopted. Gone wrong. I really don't know how to come in here.
Um, I mean, he taught extra classes. Like, he was doing side hustles, it looks like. Um,
He could, I mean, an easy way would be he could be traveling with Elodie and Felix.
I'll take it. I have nothing. Like, he's a nice guy who happens to be a teacher.
Right. Precious Adam. Okay. So, with Adam, Felix, Elodie, Meg, Claudette, they're like, there's the house.
Mm-hmm.
We can go there. Surely they have a phone we can call for help. Everybody has a landline out in the country, right? Nobody has internet. They go. Billy's off doing a murder spree. He's not home, but they find Nia.
Yes.
And then they're like, holy shit. He has a hostage. And she's like, oh my god, other people, get me out of here.
Yeah.
In the distance, if you want, we can go ahead and kill Yui.
Yeah.
In the distance, they hear...
They hear the sound of a motorcycle engine, and then... Hurrah!
Yeah, and then a scream, and just... Yui just in the distance.
An explosion that's way too big for the bicycle, or the motorcycle. And in true movie fashion.
I can spell explosion, I swear.
Here's our okay. Off-screen death.
There's always got to be one. Adam in the house looking for food the whole time, sees everyone dead. Aw.
Yeah, he's just like going through shit in the house and reading it. Ooh, what if he finds his name? Like the birth certificate.
Ooh, him and Elodie would be the ones to snoop, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They would.
Meg's just like holding out for Gramps. He's coming.
Nia, hearing Yui die, recognizes the chainsaw, and she's just like, he's coming back! Freaking out, right?
Yeah. All right.
I feel like they would try to run. Like, all of them would, like, try to leave the house when they hear Yui. Like, and Nia's like, he's coming back, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I feel like Felix would, like, grab her arm, like, listen, we gotta go this way, this is where the car, follow me, takes her arm, tries to lead the way, and then Billy would interpret that as a kidnapping. Like another thing, Yui's hitboxes, or just girl characters in general have more fucked up hitboxes.
They don't. They have the same hitboxes as the men. It's just that their designs are typically smaller, so it appears more fucked up. So Felix dies trying to save Nia.
Yeah.
A piece of mistaken intentions.
Yes. And I feel like he would take Nia back again. Like, Nia's not going anywhere. Nia is best friend.
Best friend in the whole world. They're gonna have bacon together.
Yes.
And he just got a bunch of fresh meat. So Meg, Claudette, Adam, and Elodie Does he just assume they're also there to kidnap? He just
I
want to.
figured he would grab Nia and get her back first before
And
going with the
what I'm
others.
saying is, yeah, I'm saying after he hits Nia back, do we want to massacre?
Maybe a couple.
Who do you want gone?
No, Felix and Nia are not besties. He was just trying to get her out. Um. Okay, so Meg's still there. Claudette's still there. Adam, Elodie is still there.
I feel like Meg shouldn't die until Bill shows up.
Yeah, Meg finally sees like Bill pulling up and is just relieved and just gets destroyed.
Yes, but I feel like we should kill at least one of the others.
Huh.
Like, they all try to run. He catches one of them. Then he goes after Meg as Bill is showing up.
I feel like Elodie would probably at least turn around and yell for Felix, like hesitate,
Oof.
and he'd be like, "They're friends."
She was in on it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Meg.
At this
Everyone took off running.
at this point, I feel like Claudette and Adam, it's time for them to run because Bill has showed up and he's armed.
Bill is Bill has actual fucking bombs, I bet.
Like,
Like
not to not to sound weird, but if you see an old white man pulling up in a beat up old truck with a bunch of guns, you leave.
God, Wobble, that's disgusting. Hold on. First of all, Wobble's like, fresh meat, bacon on the side, enjoying a meal with Nia. Billy gives Nia spoiled orange juice.
Can see that.
Oh, yeah, I could see it too.
He's trying to give her the best life.
Where was Bill this whole time? At home listening to his CV radio. Here's a call that's from dispatch that sounds like his, in our universe, granddaughter Meg was in trouble. So he gets the location and he's coming to save her. So he shows up.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. I need you to repeat what you just said.
Okay, so I was mentioning that if you are out in the woods on a farm and you see an old white guy pull up in a beat up pickup truck and he's armed, you leave. So I was saying that Adam and Claudette would probably go ahead and run for it because they're stuck between a chainsaw and a creepy old guy with guns.
Yeah. Yeah, they would be out so fucking fast.
So that'll give them a little bit of time to get down the road while Bill tries to light him up with bullets, which will give Claudette and Adam a chance to meet up with the rest of the gang if we want to have them meet up.
Okay. So the sounds of gunshots would cause the band tour van to come to a slowdown, and then they see Adam and Claudette running out.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
So they get on the bus and they probably start just spilling everything, just like, oh my god, this is what's going on. Adam's like, look, this is who this guy is. I went ahead and pulled this paperwork. I think this is who it is. Zarina's on her phone or computer or whatever trying to get signal because she's trying to look up the info about him, see if she's got anything. Vengeance just unhappy to be there because it smells like cow poop and bacon.
Okay.
So at that point, I feel like the gunshot's gonna stop, and in the distance, the soft rumbling of the chainsaw.
casting spell.
So now everybody knows that Bill didn't make it. Nia is hostage in the house.
They're like, we can't. So, Claudette and Adam are like, we can't leave. There's a girl there that,
Yes.
like, if we leave, she'll die, is probably what they would be saying. Like, we can't just go.
Yes.
And the others are like, we want to go. 78th time Yunjin sprays perfume on herself.
Yes.
Yunjin is in the we need to go, not because I feel in danger, but because this place smells.
Yeah.
And Kate's like, it's not that bad.
So I think Zarina would go. Jane might go. Kate would go. Adam would probably go. And Claudette's gonna go. I think Yunjin's gonna stay in the bus.
Okay.
So everybody goes to go save Nia, but they leave the bus on because Yunjin refuses to exist without air conditioning,
Oh yeah, 100%.
which Billy would then find. And Yunjin, being Yunjin, would probably like scream in horror and disgust, and that would be very upsetting.
He just starts attacking the side of the bus with the chainsaw, and she goes out to try to tell him what's what.
Yeah. Listen here,
Like,
you.
get your disgusting face away from here.
Listen, you little inbred. And he's just like, oh no.
Okay. So, Elodie, Adam, Jane, Kate, Zarina all went to go help Nia, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So they all get there. And they probably have a short discussion, like check and see if Nia has been hurt, and Nia has not been hurt at all. She has literally been brought safely back to the house, which I think will make everybody feel a little bit better
Hmm.
because he's not actively trying to kill them. Well, not actively trying to kill Nia. So they're just
I feel like Nia needs to accidentally die.
yeah.
Wobble says Yunjin, this bus just went through with a car wash. Stop touching it with your smelly sausages. Titan Prime, if they were in the situation, would simply push Yunjin into the mud and tell her to get over herself.
All right, so the gang's gonna start heading back to the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And they get back to the bus, and the bus has been like, I just imagine that he like beat the crap out of this bus. And then Yunjin's just like in 5 different pieces, hanging out of every window.
Blood splattered everywhere.
Yeah. And they're like, well, fuck, we don't have a bus anymore.
I think it would still run. It would just be
Gross.
dense. Yeah, just gross and dense, but like it's their only way out.
So I imagine Zarina would be documenting this. Because you don't need to have a signal to record.
Mm-hmm.
And then what would Jane be doing? Like Jane and Kate, I feel like they've just kind of been tagging along for this ride.
I feel like they would be trying to get Nia taken care of.
Okay.
There's probably a bathroom on the bus. There's some sort of a water tank. They could be like, listen, let's get your face and your hands washed. Let's get you taken care of. Let's try to. The bus is safe. Yes, Yunjin's dismembered body is around, but the bus is honestly safer than being out in the open.
Or what if the battery died and they need to charge the battery, so they need one person to go and like try and attach the bus battery to a car battery of one of the cars that's broken down next door?
Okay.
And that's how the next person dies. They drew the short straw.
Wait, no, didn't draw the short straw. Adam actually came with that group. Adam and Elodie. No, Elodie's already dead. Adam and Claudette actually came with that group of the car. So they're like, we have a car
Yes.
to try and charge the battery.
Yes.
Do we want them to go together or just Adam?
I feel like with how Adam is, from his backstory, that he would probably try and go it himself.
I was thinking. So when is Bill gonna take on Billy? He already did.
Bill has already lost that fight.
He brought a gun to a chainsaw fight. It was a loss from the start, honestly.
Yeah, we've already seen that Billy and bullets they aren't very effective.
They don't really penetrate his double skin.
So, yeah.
Uh, so Adam goes to get their car because I imagine he was probably the one driving. Like he's responsible.
Yeah. Unless it's
He
like
has the car
Felix's
keys.
fancy ass car.
Could be that too. They could have just left the keys in because they're like, who's gonna fucking come steal our car on the side of the road where there's nothing around?
And the only reason they're trying to
Or
get the bus to go is because there's no room in that car.
right.
So he gets the clamps on. Like, he successfully gets the car to the bus and gets it
Okay.
going. It's like a Jurassic Park 2 thing where he literally gets everything done. And it's just enough to save him, but he dies in the process. Like, Billy just walks up to him and is just like bleeding and injured and angry. And Adam's like yelling at them, like out the window, like, I got it.
Like Billy's just on his way. And they're like, he's coming. And he's like, no, just rather one more time. And as soon as they get the bus coming, he tries to run to get on the bus with them and then just gets caught.
Yeah.
Because Billy's fast as fuck, boy.
Which then
But
leaves
like
us.
hers, Jane is the bus.
Which then leaves us with the last of them. So Claudette, Nia, Kate, Jane, and Zarina.
Okay. Do we want them to all survive and get away? Or do we want to keep shit going if Billy sees Nia on the bus?
Here's my thought. They're gonna try and drive away, and he's gonna like get in the door of the bus. And I feel like Jane would at least try to stop him.
Yeah, she would.
And that would be Jane's death right there. At this point, like, Nia or Kate is trying to yeehaw down this road in the bus.
I don't think Nia's in a mental capacity to be driving.
And Kate is
so...
yeehawing on this bus. She's driving the bus.
She's never driven the bus before, but goddammit, she's gonna do it today.
And
it's only the women who survive the horror movies. It's a sign. Unfortunately, yeah.
now the reason that I said that Zarina was going to make it was because she travels with a cell phone, which can act as a small TV. So it is entirely possible that he comes over and she's fumbling with her camera and accidentally turns on
YouTube.
Yeah, turns on some sort of a show, either a recording that she'd had before of him, so he's on TV, Like he's finally getting that little bit of happiness because he's on TV and calms down. Like he's actually happy about it, and then they just like Claudette tries to be nice to him. Like he's calm, he's watching TV, he's probably crying at this point because he's finally the hero on TV.
Oh,
And Claudette like starts trying to clean him up, like, okay, if we can keep him calm, if we can keep him happy, and they're actually able to get away and get off the bus. And hopefully Billy gets his happy ever after, getting the help that he clearly needs. But yeah, I
see,
that's what I imagined, was that he would finally get to see himself on
I like
TV.
that. I imagine something slightly different of Zarina's helping Jane try to fight him from getting on the bus and like drops her phone and like some like a recording that she took of him killing Adam or something
Yeah.
comes on, and then he sees that, and then but like her phone like falls off of the bus and he hears it and sees it, and then he's distracted and just like, oh, I'm on TV, like that whole moment you described, and they're just like, this is our chance to fucking go.
I was also thinking
And
that
they
like
okay.
Zarina at this point, like since like Elodie and her had gone through and snooped, that she knew his name, so she might also be like, "Hey, calm down, Max. Max, it's okay." And he's just like looking at her like, "It's my name, and I'm on TV." Like it's his whole life finally like coming into focus.
That would be so sweet.
Yeah. So I mean,
It's
if you
for
want Nia to come up and 300 his ass off the bus, go ahead. I
no,
was
no.
kind of hoping he'd have a happy ending, though.
This is a horror movie. What if it okay, it's one of those movies that has alternate endings.
Yeah.
There's the theatrical release and then the alternate.
Yeah.
And you can have the theatrical release because I'm sure a happy ending will sell more money.
I just want, you know what? I just want the next one. I want Billy to be present. You know, everybody goes out, and Billy is no longer a killer. He's a survivor, damn it. He survived a whole life of being just brutalized
Yeah.
and tortured, and now he's a survivor. He got the help he needed. He got the care that he needed. He got to be on TV. He had somebody taking care of him and that wasn't horrified by him. I just want Billy to be the survivor.
Okay, I'll give you that if it makes you happy.
And then you can have the other one where Nia just kicks him out the door. He gets hit by the bus.
Not Nia, Zarina. Wobble says this is a Disney movie now. Billy escapes with the survivors in the end.
He'll be in our
And
next Dead Talk.
Lukey says Nia takes up the mantle of Billy.
That'll be interesting when we have Trapper episode 2. Just
Nia with a chainsaw.
yeah, Trapper just comes out and he's like severely burned, and then you just hear the chainsaw in the distance. Uh, can we just have a wholesome horror movie, right? I just want him to be happy.
Wholesome horror movie. I like this. So Nia, Kate, Claudette, and Zarina.
Yes.
Hey, let's add Nia here.
Woo!
Look at that. I forgot.
The entity survives again.
Episode 1, Trapper, Part 2. Trapper's just gonna be like a whole like never-ending series.
Just keep going after him.
Perfect. So, who would you like to do next?
Ooh.
We're not ready for Plague yet, but we're getting close.
Yeah.
Hag and Nurse both have lore. Doctor has lore. Legion and Spirit both have lore.
thought we were leaning towards Legion last time.
Were we?
I thought we were. I'm not sure. I don't know.
We accept they're happening in a shared universe. Yes, Freddy versus Twinkster.
That would be kind of fun.
That would be.
We'll just have like one day where the killers just try and kill each other. It'll be the showdown.
Slim Anaconda is doing a TikTok series where people are just suggesting like anybody, any survivor, any killer, just fighting each other like hand to hand. Who would win?
I'm kind of interested. I haven't actually read up on the nurse.
Oh, she's a good story. If you'd like to.
Let's do nurse.
Nurse next week.
Yeah. August says Pyramid Head and Trickster. Now that's a ship I want to see. Don't we all?
Mm.
See, I want the two of them to be part of their current beach line. That's what we want. That's what we want to see.
That would be beautiful. All right, Hag next week.
I thought we said nurse.
No, yeah, we did say nurse.
All right.
Why did I say Hag? Nurse next week.
Next week we get to do the nurse.
Hey, I do actually. I've glimpsed at her backstory. I really like it.
I haven't touched it, so it'll all be new.
It's a fun one. It's a fun one. All right.
Do we want to do the quick review of what happened?
Yes.
All right.
Let me switch back.
I believe it's your turn for the recap.
Is it? Okay.
Because it's whoever does the intro first is not the one that does the recap at the end, or at least that I think that's how it's worked out every time.
Perfect. We had a pattern. We didn't even like realize
Yeah.
it. Okay, so Billy does the whole murdering deputies and his family and everything, and Tap is unfortunately caught in that. So he's on the farm, living his life, killing anybody who drives by. We have Quentin, Cheryl, Steve, Nancy, Fung, and Lori, all just some teenagers on a road trip. And it's late at night. Quentin starts to fall asleep at the wheel, crashes into the ditch, and just gets beat up by the airbags. He's dead. Cheryl, living life on the edge, doesn't wear a seatbelt, also dies. Everybody, wear your fucking seatbelts. Yep. Steve and Nancy are just like in the back of their van or whatever, you know. Doing
I think they were
adult
yeah, I think they were actually out in the woods.
Oh, were they out in the woods?
I thought so, because
they go out into the woods to have an adult conversation.
Because that would be so awkward for Feng and Lori.
It would be. You're right.
Just watching the van just rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
That's how you...
Steve and Nancy go out into the woods to have an adult conversation and get got.
Because that's how you get sandbagged by the other survivors. The killer just comes up and just pointing at the back of the van. They're in there!
So then Faye and Lori go, they're like, they hear the chainsaw and Steve and Nancy dying, and they're like, oh shit, and they take off to go find help. They see a car approaching from the distance. They try to wave it down. Fang gets cattle hammered over the head, and then Lori gets hit by the car and just goes flying. It's in the car is David, Ash, Ace, and Jeff. Jeff's the one driving. They stop the car. They get out to check if she's okay. Her last dying breath is, help, chainsaw. Jeff is distraught, and he's like, oh shit, I just killed this teenage girl. He goes to sit in the front seat of the car, just grabs a beer, drinking his feelings away, as if that helps, because he hit her because he was drunk anyway. David's just like, I know it'll make you feel better if we like fight. You wanna fight? Ace and Ash are like, oh my god, we gotta hide this body. Ace is like, I know how to hide a body. He doesn't. He's just full of shit. He's very confident. Ash is like, no, I really know how to hide a body. He pulls out his chainsaw hand. Start dismembering. Then the sound of the chainsaw beckons Billy. Billy comes rushing out of the distance. Ash sees him. It's chainsaw to chainsaw. They both hold them high, erect even,
Mm-hmm.
and rev. It's the most epic chainsaw battle you've ever seen. Sparks are flying everywhere, clashing chainsaws, just shroom, shroom, shroom. Uh, oh, sorry. Billy comes by with the drive-by splattered.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
rip
Yeah,
Ace.
just Ace just gets got as Billy shows up, and then him and Ash fight. It's beautiful. David is like, there's a fight. Decides to go and join them. He did not bring his own chainsaw, unfortunately. This puts him at a severe disadvantage. And David just dies. We don't know if it was Ash or Billy who actually kills David. All we know is death by chainsaw. Billy does win the fight. And at this point, Jeff realizes that, holy shit, there's a maniac with a chainsaw. And he tries to run, but he's too drunk. Billy catches him, and he goes down. We have another road trip coming by of Dwight, Jake, Meg, and Claudette. And Dwight's like, oh, can we pull over or Dwight's just like complaining about stopping somewhere because he has to pee. And Meg's just like, you could just fucking do it on the side of the road. Like, come on. We don't have to stop at a gas station. And he's too scared. And then Jake's like, I've lived in the woods forever. It's no big deal. Come on, let's do it. And so they both get out of the car. And Jake's just like, it's not that bad. Come on, over here. Go stand next to that tree. I'll stand next to this tree.
They're both just trying to hit a rock that's in between them.
Yes. Just target practice. They're doing their thing. Billy comes by and just whacks them both. At this point, Meg and Claudette are just like, holy shit, they just got. And they take off in their car a couple miles down the road to try and like find a signal to call for help. They do successfully call for help, but there's no cops because Billy killed them all. Dispatch is trying anyway, though, and Bill hears on the radio a description that sounds like his daughter and granddaughter, and where she said she would be like traveling, and he's just like, makes trouble. So he packs up his gear and he makes his way. Meanwhile, while Meg and Claudette are stopped, they see a car that has Felix, Elodie, and Adam. Just those three, right?
Yeah.
Yes. You forgot to mention when Jake and Dwight kiss. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
Their unicorns touch horns.
Their streams crossed, and then their eyes met, and
they
were about to kiss.
There was a rainbow from the light from the car and the water, the yellow water, little tainted rainbow. Skittles, taste the rainbow.
Ew, no water sports jokes here. So they're just like, hey, we just saw a dude with a chainsaw kill both of our friends while they were just like taking a piss. And Felix is like, hey, there's a house right there. They have a landline, I bet. Let's go to them for help. So they go to the house and they find Mia, who has apparently been held hostage for a while because she thought this place was abandoned and was just like, she heard some cops died there by rumor or something, and so she was just like, this would be funny to go spray paint pig all over the place, or like fuck pigs, and just a bunch of anti-cop spray paint slander. It was beautiful. Billy thought that they would actually be really good friends, but is bad at communication, and so she thinks she's being held hostage.
I just imagine it's like two different things. Like Billy's just looking at it. There's like just shimmering sparkles and hearts as he's looking over it, and then she just looks over at him and he just looks terrifying.
So they're like, holy shit, girl, what are you doing here? And in the distance they hear a motorcycle coming down the road, And then just suddenly an explosion, a scream, a chainsaw. The scream ends. Nia's like, oh my god, he's coming back. And they're like, okay, let's go. Felix just like grabs her hand, just be like, that comfort of just like, come on, I got you. And then Billy shows up and sees that, and he thinks Felix is trying to kidnap her. So Billy just cattle hammer straight to the head, takes Felix out. He's gone. Bye, Felix.
My
Meg
Phoenicia.
yeah. Meg, whose teachables are better to get first, Jeff or Nia? What's Nia have? Probably Nia, but
Balance
they're both kind of
Landing,
equal.
Urban Evasion, and then she's got the one that I don't use.
Streetwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of their perks are just like mediocre. They're They're
Hey.
good in
Urban
different
Evasion
pieces.
is the best. Next to self-care.
Yes. So Meg, Claudette, and Adam take off running. Elodie hesitates too long, also gets cattle hammered. Because she's just like, oh my god, Felix. Billy takes off after the other three of them.
He puts Nia back in the house first.
Oh, okay, sure. He puts Nia back in the house first, then takes off after the others. Meg sees Grandpa Bill pulling up down the road. She's like, oh my god, we're gonna be safe. She's just like, yeah, we're here. And then he sees her. They make eye contact. Billy comes out of nowhere and just chainsaws her down. At this point, Bill's just like, not on my watch. Hops out of his pickup truck with his gun, starts shooting at Billy. It's a fight. Claudette and Adam are just like, we're not fucking around out in the middle of rural who knows where with a white man with a gun and another dude with a chainsaw, and they take off running back to their car. The sound of gunfire. There's a tour bus coming by for Kate. This has Yinjin, Jane, Zarina. That's all who's on that tour bus, right?
Yinjin, Jane, Kate, and Zarina.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The sound of gunfire causes them to start to slow down. And then when they see Adam and Claudette just running out of the corn, they're like, oh my god, stop. And they flag them down. And then they're just like, guys, oh my god, there's a girl being held hostage back at that farmhouse. We gotta help her. And then the gunfire stops. Bill's dead off screen. And then I don't know what happens next.
They go
Adam,
back
Claudette.
for Nia.
Yeah, Adam, Claudette, Jane, and Zarina and Kate go back for Nia. Yunjin stays on the bus in the air conditioning. They manage to somehow get past Billy, but Billy makes it to the road, sees the stopped bus, and starts beating the shit out of it with his cattle hammer. Yunjin gets out of the bus and says, you freak, stop doing that, go away. And he just loses it and kills her. The others get Nia, and they come back. Billy's not there, but they see the dismembered body of Yunjin, and they're just like, oh shit, we need to get going. They get Nia on the bus. Kate and Jane are trying to get her taken care of, get her cleaned up a little bit, and the beating the bus took seems to have like killed the battery. So Adam goes to get the car that him and Claudette were in earlier to pull it around. All the girls are on the bus, just trying to get it revved up and running. And Adam's got the car, the jumper cables all hooked up. They're revving and everything. It's almost started. Billy's coming up in the distance. They're screaming at Adam to get on the bus. And he's like, no, we almost got it. And then as soon as, I would imagine Zarina's driving the bus at first, Zarina just like gets it revved up and going. And then, as soon as it starts, Adam tries to make it to the bus. He doesn't make it. Billy takes him out. He's gone. Adam's dead. And then Billy sees Nia on the bus. He tries to go onto the bus to save his best friend. And Jane, like, tries to fight him off of the bus, and he beats Jane up. Zarina's trying to help Jane. Zarina drops her phone. It turns on a recording that she caught of him or it's like playing back a recording she caught of him killing Adam because she was like, "This needs to be recorded. Like whatever the fuck's happening here, people need to know, right?" Uh, he like I guess hears his own like that the sound that he makes and just stops and he's like, "What's that?" And he looks at the down at the phone that she dropped, and he sees himself, and he's like, "A TV? I'm on TV." And do you want to describe your ending?
So he sees that he's on TV, and Serena's like trying to calm him down. She's like, Max, it's okay, it's okay. And he realizes that he's finally on TV. He's the hero. They know his name. He actually has a name, and they know it because he's on TV. And once he's calmed down, like Claudette's trying to clean him up, and everybody's talking real nice, and he finally feels like he has been accepted. He's finally gotten everything that he wanted, and they managed to get the bus to safety and get our dear Max Jr. the help that he really needed. So he went from being the killer to a real survivor.
And then if you buy the DVD, you can get the alternate ending where they use him being distracted by Zarina's phone to shut the bus door and fucking run and just zoom out of town. And they lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Jeez. DLC you don't have, you're eventually gonna need to get the survivors from. But yeah, Titan, Jeff and Mia's teachables are pretty equivalent to each other. Depends on what you're looking for. Buy the exclusive DVD for the alternative ending now for $2.99. Alright, so next week is Nurse.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Everybody,
All right.
tune in next week and come in our exit gate.